Alright, Assalamualaikum and hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode of our favorite Sembang Santai, episode 44 guys. Woohoo! Yes. And today is a very special day. Well, happy IoT World Day to all our listeners around the globe, okay? Whether you are a developer, student, engineer, policymaker, or just someone who is so curious about how technology is shaping the world, today is your day, guys. And of course, I'm not alone today. As usual, we have the IoT man himself in the house, Dr. Mazlan Abbas.
Okay. Thank you very much, Zura. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all of you. Like what Zura mentioned lah, today is kita punya World IoT Day.
Yes.
Most of us didn't realize there is such a
day. Yeah.
So we know it's a Mother's Day.
Father's Day.
We tend to forget Father's Day.
Forget.
So we have Independence Day. But for the technical people and especially for the IoT punya champions, the enthusiasts and so on and so forth.
Yep.
So we have a very special day, what we call World IoT Day.
Correct.
It has been in an annual punya around the world. There are friends and colleagues and the peers in the area of IoT. They will have some session like this.
Yes.
They
celebrate it.
They will celebrate in a different way.
Yep.
Some of them in podcast sessions. Some of them in YouTube live sessions. Today we also have the Malaysia IoT Association.
Yes.
So we do have our own webinar. So we have called several associations around the region to have that. In Malaysia, it will start at 8:30 p.m.
Yep, tonight.
So tonight, anyone who wants to register, you can take a look at my Facebook. There is a page or poster, and there is a link for you to register to join this night session lah. Okay. And what we are seeing around the world, I think we have been talking about IoT for many years, Azura. I think for me, I think this is quite a year for us. It has been quite for several years. It had to be at the back burner, or at the behind the curtain. It's because we have this so-called the new kid on the block on the block.
New kid.
Apa?
New kid. In the block.
Yeah, new kid and on the block. So this new kid is what kita always call artificial intelligence, AI. So AI have been in the spotlight. Most of the time, people talk about this in the newspapers, magazines, in the internet, everywhere around the world.
Yes.
And it has been
spotlight lah.
It's very hype, and of course, the reason being it is a very new things, and there is always a breakthrough. Whenever there is a breakthrough in AI, where everyone now can use AI, so all the consumers themselves is able to use AI. So unlike IoT, not many of us have able to. They might use, but they're not able to develop AI or create their own AI applications. So AI is quite simple. I think the easiest one, people have been using Gemini, ChatGPT, and so on and so forth. They have been using this for their daily activities. Even yourself, Zura, you are.
Oh yes, I do. I always use it every day.
ChatGPT.
Yep.
ChatGPT. Other than ChatGPT, Gemini. So these are quite popular for many of us, and it has transformed the lives of the people to make it more easy. So IoT have also come to a stage where it was once quite complex.
Yes.
The data is a huge amount of data, but it has also been transformed with the help of AI too. So I think for this year and the World IoT Day, I think most of us will be talking about AIoT. So this is something that we're going to talk about today. So is that the merger between these two technologies,
AI and IoT.
So I think for this episode we will focus on a topic called from the data to the edge and to intelligent decisions. This is the rise of what we call the AIoT lah. Macam macam kita kata the rise of the Terminator.
But tapi since I mean since it's IoT day, right?
Yes, that's the word.
Dia macam nak say a gratitude note sikit lah to IoT, the existence of IoT ni.
Yeah.
I think IoT has made personally my life easier. Okay. Especially it's like during the journey to work. I mean, because of the smart traffic light, you
Yes.
know, and of course smart parking, easier to find parking. So I tak payah buat roundabout banyak kali kan. So yeah, IT does make my life easy at least for me.
Yeah, I think it's coming back with a lot of new applications, kan?
Yes, it is.
And I think we have heard about smart cities, even AI cities. So
yeah.
I think the merger will make it more, impactful. So
Interesting.
that's also what since I'm also the vice chairman of Malaysia IoT Association.
Yep.
I also like to give a little bit of scenario of what happened in Malaysia too. I think all of us in the industry, they also focusing on AIoT now. Nowadays, I think edge intelligence is one area that needs to be have a lot of potential into applications, especially when we have video.
Yes.
So video is something which at one time is only CCTV.
CCTV, yeah.
So it's only video, but you are unable to do more analytics. But it needs some intelligence because video needs something like a brain behind that that can translate the video, creating events, capturing events. Capturing events. So you need to have AI with that.
Yep.
So you need to recognize the video nowadays is just not just
streaming
live data, but events that people might miss.
Correct.
When they're looking at video. So now AI is there, and I think the industry needs to work together too, Zura.
Yes.
I think organizations like the hardware companies, they can't do much if they don't work with platform companies like us. So they need to send the data to our platform, and also the applications companies. So they build applications, different verticals for healthcare, agriculture, also smart cities. So there are many applications on top of that. So
wide industry.
Yeah, I think it's about time for all of us to work together, kan, Zura? So it's not like everyone is working alone.
Yes.
So it must be a partnership.
Correct.
So that's why the association always encourages the partnerships, collaborations among each other.
Yeah.
So no longer working alone.
Yep.
So we need to work together lah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Okay. So, all right, doctor. So what we're going to talk about today is not just IoT, but AIoT. And more importantly, how do we move from just collecting data to actually making intelligent decisions? Okay, doctor. Let me just start with a simple question, okay? So how many people actually build IoT systems? Like collect data, but then don't really know what to do next?
Yeah, I think almost everyone. Okay, almost everyone they build the IoT solutions, they collect data. So everyone is doing that. So what to do next? I mean, with the kind of data that you have captured, kan?
Yes.
Actually, I'm not exaggerating lah, because many other IoT projects that we have seen actually stops at dashboards, kan?
Okay.
So there's a lot of requirements nowadays.
Yes.
They ask about dashboards. So I think what dashboard for them is that they want to see the graph.
Yes.
They want to see the numbers. You feel proud to see all these numbers, graphs moving around.
Yes.
But then nothing changes.
Because we like to see the visuals.
It's just the visuals, yeah.
Yes.
So,
yeah, but that hurts a bit lah.
yeah, okay.
So what's missing lah, doctor?
What's missing is actually the clarity part. Clarity. You have the numbers, you have the visuals, but clarity. So let me ask a question back to you lah. For example, are you building a system that shows only the data, or you're building a system that changes the outcomes? So because those are two different things.
Yeah. So I guess dashboard is just not enough, doctor.
Dashboards, yeah, it is actually the beginning. Anything you start with a dashboard without collection of the data, you can start to move to the next step. So, but dashboard, like I said, I always say this: Dashboards are like your hello world. Hello world in IoT.
I'm visible. Okay, like that lah. Hi.
You know, in the technical community, especially the programmer,
Okay.
the term hello world, you know where does it come from?
No, I don't know. What's that?
When we start to do programming, Azura, you know the C language programming.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Like most of our developers say,
Yes.
C or C++.
Yeah.
The first output when we start to do a programming is the word hello world.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it the same for C, C++,
At
whatever?
the basic programming, they will say the hello world is like the first output will, you know, when it appears, you say, wow.
Wow. Okay, I
So
didn't know that.
as a programmer, you can see that's the first output.
Oh.
After that, you can see everything nowadays.
Okay,
you can see all
okay.
the graph, the output. But the hello world is something that you display and
That's the start lah,
your first result. So dashboards is always like something like that lah.
Oh.
It is the start.
Okay.
But they prove that something is working. In the case of programming, you start programming and you know your programming works.
I see. Okay.
Because you
okay.
know how your structure programming, dengan library, dia punya apa benda, all the header and all that is there, and when it runs, that's the first thing that you see.
Okay,
So
it
the
works.
say it works. So meaning your programming works. So in IoT, when it shows a dashboard, then it shows it working.
Oh, that's our what to say definition of hello world.
Hello world in IoT.
Okay.
But they don't prove the actual value yet.
I see. Okay, got it. Okay, let us simplify things a bit. What exactly is AIoT, Doctor? Again,
Okay,
please.
it's a simple combination of AI,
Okay, yes.
the artificial intelligence, and also the IoT lah.
Okay.
So in the IoT part, it is where we collect the data.
Yes.
Okay, the IoT part, the AI part, which makes sense of the data. So together they actually give you answer between two different questions. For example, IoT answers the question of, hey, what is happening? Yeah.
Okay.
And AI answers, what should we do about it? Something has happened, you know. Like, you know, I give an example lah. If a doctor use temperature thermometer measuring you and say that temperature is like this,
Okay.
it's like IoT lah. It
Okay,
shows
yes,
something
yes.
is happening, you are getting hot.
Okay.
But what should we do about it?
What does it mean? Am I really
so,
demam or what?
so the doctor have to diagnose it.
Yeah.
You demam, you are getting sick, you
Yes,
know,
yes.
you're have fever. You should do something about it. So you need to give prescription. You know, so a doctor have that domain knowledge. So that is the intelligent part,
Right.
which is missing lah. So the IoT is only the measurement part. That's what we are
Okay,
saying.
interesting, Doctor. That's very crystal clear for me. So without AI, IoT is just observing.
Yeah, just observing exactly. That's what you are looking now. It's
Yeah.
like you having a CCTV,
Okay.
but no one watching it.
Bila dapat kat TV dah. Dia tak tengok.
You have something is being displayed.
Yes.
Okay, but no one is watching it. So the guard will have some problem lah. Or worse, watching it, but not reaching. Oh no, sorry, not reaching.
Reacting.
Not reacting.
Tak ada reaction
So they watch it,
Just watch
but
only lah.
you just watch, you know, no reaction. There's
okay, that
something
one.
happening, you know, like you watch a movie lah. And when there's nothing that you watch, but you don't know, but the end of the day is finished. So there's no emotion.
better switch off, ah.
Then emotion, no ups and downs. You don't capture the moments, the emotions of that movie.
Right now you don't understand.
CCTV something like that, you just go through and then that's it.
Okay.
People go and steal and you don't act on that.
Okay. That's funny though. Okay, Doctor, you did mention about the age just now. Let's talk about the age. We always hear this term. I mean, I've also always heard about it. Edge devices, edge computing. But what does it really mean, Doctor?
You know, the age hujung lah,
hujung sekali,
The hujung sekali lah. Okay. The age is where the data is born. No, you don't know. Okay. So when you are at the edge means you are the customer premise lah. Premise at the customer side,
Okay.
where there are the sensors, the cameras, the PLC, or you use ESP32, Arduino. So all of these devices are collecting data lah, the real world signals, which we so call it. we collect data from temperature, vibration, movement, pressure. But here's the problem lah.
Okay.
So each data is quite messy.
Okay, messy
Messy betul.
Bukan messy beku tau, messy.
Messy.
Messy how tu doktor? Messy macam mana?
Okay. Messy in the sense that it's quite noisy, it's quite inconsistent, it's high frequency, so many data that comes in, and sometimes it's wrong. So let me sometimes it's wrong because so let me ask something important.
Okay.
So if your input data is unreliable, can your decisions be trusted?
Of course not lah doktor.
Okay. So that's one thing. So
okay, so it's not cannot be trusted.
yes.
Okay. Okay, let's say we go to this exciting part pula.
Okay.
Let's talk about machine learning. This is where people always get excited and also get very confused.
Yes.
Bila
So-
cerita pasal machine
So
learning.
why do we need machine learning kan? So like I said just now, at the age you need to do something where I give an example lah. When you get some information, you sometimes just don't want to become like a postman. I mean postman, I get some data, I push to the cloud or push to your boss to make decision. But you get only one source of data. You get another source of data, you push to your boss. So your boss becoming more and more, can you make your own decision first? Can you
give one satu-satu.
satu-satu? You push everything to the boss and the boss get headache lah. So the boss cannot absorb everything, all the information or the decision is not being made by you. So you need to make the decision first before you send something to the boss.
Okay lah.
So you need that edge to do that decision by yourself. So you need some intelligence there. So that's where the machine learning comes in lah. Kan? So but then sometimes people jump straight away to machine learning.
Okay.
Machine learning is not the starting point sebenarnya.
Okay.
Okay.
Yalah.
So what machine learning wants is that it depends a lot of things. They need to understand the good kind of the good data. They need to know that the clear objective, what you want to do with the data. And the data also must be properly structured. I give an example lah. If you want to give something a decision, everyone giving you data which is unreliable, so your brain also cannot brain lah. They can say this.
You also cannot brain, man.
That's why people say I cannot brain,
I cannot brain.
because you give me rubbish data.
Yeah, it is alright.
And then you give me the data, but you don't give me the objective what to do.
Yes. What is this for?
Boss, this is your data.
So what?
So what? So the boss will say, so what?
Okay.
And then you say, you send the data with different format. Boss, this is my spreadsheet. Or dia another guy, dia bagi different spreadsheet, different format.
Oh man.
So the boss tengok macam mana kan. So machine learning also have that starting point. So you must have a very good structure of data.
Okay.
Clear data, jangan bagi rubbish, then go rubbish in, rubbish out.
Oh, I see.
So you must have clear objective what you want to do with the data. So machine learning must understand the objective, and then the proper structure lah, so that everything that comes to the machine learning part, they know how exactly how to look at different data parameters. Tak adalah cacah marba lah.
Right. So sekarang ni, what can machine learning do in IoT? Macam mana tu?
Apa? Macam mana ke?
Macam mana macam mana cik? Doktor lah kena cerita. Not me.
Okay. So machine learning can do three things lah.
In IoT
So machine learning, that's what machine learning is all about. People talk about one, they detect anomalies.
Okay.
So anomalies ni something which is
different lah
from normal. Dia mabuk sikit ataupun something which go
Why is it
beyond
like this,
their normal behavior.
Right.
So the anomalies part is important.
It's abnormal.
So sometimes if too abnormal, if you are in the what orang gila, everything looks like normal
It's
lah.
normal, no?
It's normal. So dia abnormal tu anomaly bila dia behave.
Dia behave. Yeah.
So suddenly you feel
Ni something wrong
so that part dia punya anomaly is when they behave.
Yes.
So when they're
That's
crazy
right. That's normal.
that's normal for them.
That's the standard.
So we want to know whether which one is normal for
Okay.
a certain condition.
Okay.
So the second part, you need to predict the future events.
Yes.
This is where machine learning comes in lah. And thirdly, classify the patterns. Patterns mean you group it. Some data coming in, is this a high risk, or is this low risk, or is this medium risk, and so on and so forth. So you need to classify that kind of data. So you cannot jump everything one data come in, oh high. Padahal it's still medium.
I see.
So you have
jangan panik dulu lah.
Jangan panic. So let's say okay, you have a machine.
Okay.
The machine that you want to monitor, not the machine learning part lah. The machine, you monitor the vibration.
Okay.
So then come the machine learning part that can tells you whether something is normal or something is not normal.
Okay.
When something is not normal, it will likely to fail within the 3 days. So they can predict within the next 3 days, it will fail. So you need to do something lah.
I see.
That changes everything in the way that we do operations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. At least we predict that, kan? Okay. So this is where things get interesting, Doctor, because this is where most projects fails, right? Sebab machine learning tu.
Yes, that's the big issue lah. And that's why we created this what we call the favorite insight framework. You know, people come in doing projects but didn't do this in very structured manner.
Right.
So after many years working in this area of IoT, we found out there must be a certain framework, a certain structure that will help us to do this step by step.
Okay.
So a framework will help you to prevent people from jumping the steps.
I see. Okay. Well, walk us through it, please, Doctor.
Okay. First, there are actually 6 steps.
All right.
So you want to make this as anything that you want to do, any project IoT, it must come with these 3 steps. Or even when you meet the customer, you have to start with this. You have to use these 6 steps.
Okay.
Start the number 1. You have to have that intent and understand the intent and context.
Okay. Why you do this lah?
Why you do this?
Okay.
Yeah. So we cannot jump straight. Okay, I want to have these sensors, connect this. What are you going to do with that? Yeah.
Yes.
So you cannot.
Ada purpose lah.
Ada purpose. So you cannot go straight away into asking your system integrator to buy a certain I want this. But you have to have that intent. What exactly that you want to capture?
Yes.
So it's really the problem statement lah.
Correct.
The business problems, and by the end of the day, what exactly that you want to see out of your project. So the second part is where we define the data foundation. So data foundation means also you have to define the right devices.
Okay.
So that devices will capture the information that you want. So that is the census part. So when you are actually in the area of the coverage networks, you have to understand this data needs to be pushed through what kind of connectivity.
Right.
So you have to ensure that it's Wi-Fi, then it's Wi-Fi.
Depending on the situation of that area.
Sometimes Wi-Fi is not good enough.
Correct.
Because people change the AP nya password and then suddenly your data is not captured because it lost the signals or connectivity.
Right. If it's outdoor,
it might be
LoRa,
LoRa, and so on and so forth. So connectivity. Then you have to understand how to capture the data through a platform and all that.
Right.
And then that's where I think the data foundation is important to understand whether you are sending through MQTT, REST, or app, what kind of format, JSON format, what kind of structure, and so on and so forth.
Right. Okay.
So the third part is where I think the hello world of IoT comes in lah.
Yeah.
So that the what you call
dashboard.
the dashboard, the descriptive part,
Right.
the historical trends, so what's coming or what's already the real-time data that's moving, for the last 24 hours. And then we have diagnostic. So that's why kita mentioned just now about the anomalies, detect about the classification, and then you can predict and so on and so forth. So that is on the predictive insights too, the third part lah, or the 5th steps lah. We can predict your trend.
Alright.
And lastly, the 6th in the prescriptive insights lah.
Okay.
So prescriptive is the action that you want to take place when certain things happen. So you need to do some prescription. Just like a doctor, by the end of the day, you still need to prescribe.
Yes.
So what's the use of coming to the doctor and the doctor keeps silent?
Exactly, that's when I want to say. Then the doctor mode comes in lah. Doctor mode.
Doctor mode, yeah.
Yeah, let's prescribe this.
Let's prescribe. Then doctor mesti prescribe. They want the money, so you have to buy your medicine.
Yes. Okay.
So this favorite insight framework is like climbing a ladder.
Ah.
So you think you're like climbing a ladder. So you cannot jump to prediction
Terus
if you don't even understand the data.
Right.
So you cannot just have prescription without even starting with the intent and context of what exactly that you want to trigger.
Right,
Kan?
right. Okay. Doctor, maybe some of us still can't gauge what you're talking about. So perhaps maybe you can break it down a little bit, Doctor.
Okay.
Maybe you can say some example, maybe.
Okay,
sample.
example.
Okay.
Okay, that is the general view of the 6 steps. So
Yes.
step 1 is the most important, like I just now mentioned lah, kan?
Yeah,
So
the intent.
intent, niat kita lah.
Nawai tu.
Nawai tu.
Okay.
Nawai tu, what problem are you solving?
Right.
Okay kan?
Okay, yes.
So if you skip this link, everything else becomes meaningless lah.
Betul.
What exactly that this guy is capturing kan? Apa benda? So dia dapat graph je lah.
Just keep on getting all data, all the nonsense data pun also they take kan.
Dia
Salah.
not really nonsense, but then they don't know what to do with the data.
Okay.
Because their intention is capture data, get a graph.
Just dekat graph. Oh, nice graph.
So you
Yes.
must have the intent whether you want to capture the pump, for example. The pump, is it working or not? This pump number 1 is still working or not? On or off?
Okay,
So at least you
okay.
capture that intent is also important. Kan?
Okay. Kasih real example lah, Doctor. Kasih real punya.
Okay. So let's start with smart factory, katakan.
Okay.
Give me an example like smart factory. Goal is actually to reduce downtime.
Okay, that's the intent.
So we define the intent. The goal is to reduce the downtime. So what do we need to do by having that goal? So once we understand that, we collect the vibration data. We think that vibration, when it shakes very high, you know that the downtime, is
Dah quite near lah.
quite longer lah semua kan. And then the temperature data, so it becomes hot and hot.
Okay.
So you need to capture that 2 data. Maybe you put a vibration sensor, temperature sensor, kan? So that's the second step. Senang lah, you only choose 2 sensors. Why should you measure location ke, proximity ke? You don't need all of that. You just only
Not
need 2
necessary
sensors.
lah.
Not necessary. So define and they can reduce the cost.
Yep.
Not reduce the optimize the cost. So the third part, once you have captured the data, you have to visualize that.
Okay.
So that the descriptive part, the step 3 yang I mentioned tu.
Okay, the dashboard is
The
there.
dashboard is there. So dashboard is okay. Takes with a lot of people stops there. Having a
Okay.
dashboard.
Okay.
What exactly that they can identify through that data or the dashboard. So the fourth part is where the analytics and machine learning comes in place.
Okay.
So this is where they can identify the abnormal punya patterns. So when the thing shakes, and because heat makin tinggi and then the vibration become stronger,
higher.
you have the correlation, and you might mention that this is abnormal, it's going to fail. Kan? So the fifth part is actually what I mentioned to you, predictive. Kan?
Yep.
So then once you know that things going to happen, then you know when exactly it's going to happen. You can predict that. So
So
within
it's
the
like-
next 2 or 3 hours, it's going to go down. So quickly you do your own maintenance.
Okay.
But something needs to be triggered
Okay.
for that maintenance part.
Okay.
So you nampak ada 2 or 3 or something is being recognized to trigger within the next. You predict within 2 or 3 hours it's going to fail. But who knows?
Okay. Yeah.
Go get notified.
Right. You need to send an alert.
So you need to
right?
send an alert. So the prescription part, you need to trigger the maintenance. So you need to send a message to your maintenance people, a message that says that in 3 hours your machine is going to go down.
Okay.
Please do something. So now instead of having this reacting to breakdowns, down, suddenly
Yeah.
things down, you prevent them.
Right. So you know it before it really break down.
Macam kita lah ada demam, dah rasa demam, kita feel something abnormal kan.
Betul bodoh.
So kita pergi jumpa doktor. Doktor kata okay, you confirm you nak demam. Makin teruk ni dia kata. Okay kan. So I selalu juga, I when I to meet the doctor, and the doctor asked me whether during that time I measured my blood pressure.
Okay.
So my pressure quite high lah.
Okay.
But then he doesn't have that previous data.
I see.
The
Historical data.
So, but I have mentioned the historical data.
Right.
So I captured the data and I show him the trends of the
Okay,
data. So when he looks at that data of my blood pressure, dia rasa okay, today is abnormal lah.
Oh, okay.
One off lah.
Very stressed.
Very stressed because you want to see the doctor and suddenly your blood pressure naik.
Okay.
So abnormal. So dia kata your normal trend should be okay. So dia tak adalah. Then dia don't say they predict anything happen, but they say okay lah. So then they give me
It's within the trend.
dia bagi prescription or just maintain this medicine lah.
Right.
No change of medicine.
Okay. Prevention.
So that's the steps that need to take place.
Yeah.
So when you see the doctor because you feel something and your intent is to see whether you are healthy or not,
Or do we need to take actions or whatever?
what are the parameters need to capture? It's just only blood pressure, kan?
Yeah,
And then after that, dia tunjuklah historical value you apa.
Right. Okay.
Then if there's something abnormal, dia cakap okay abnormal, but on dia tengok classification juga. All your data looks good. All good.
Okay.
So it's low risk.
Okay.
Kan?
Okay. Nothing to panic.
Nothing to panic. Nothing to trigger for your future. Still okay.
Okay.
So dia bagi ubat biasa.
Okay.
Kalau betul-betul baik, dia kata dia predict you going to go down. Dia kata no more medicine.
Okay. No need to take medicine anymore.
So that's the prescription part. So in a sense, we meet a doctor. That's how the 6 steps come in.
Okay, it's the same thing in
Same
our
thing.
life also.
So you don't react lah. Go sakit. Oh, doktor nak mati. No.
Well, we just go for prevention is better than
Yeah.
macam gitulah. Alright. So besides that, that's why cost saving also comes in, doctor. You jangan bayar ubat mahal-mahal tu. Bayar ubat murah-murah juga.
That's why you don't panic. Every time you go and check with the specialist, you thought it's something bad. The specialist charge you very high lah kan. So in a way, if you do this regularly kan, so you not only save the cost lah.
Correct.
So in terms of the machine, you look at productivity of the machine, people, the safety, reliability, everything. That's the real impact that we are looking at.
Yes, that's a very cool impact, I could say. Now, I'd like to ask the listeners lah juga, kan?
Ada listeners lagi ni?
Just now ada ya. Now, be honest guys. Are you still stuck at dashboards? Or are you moving towards prediction and actions? Tanya lagi.
So I don't know.
Apa lagi kita nak tanya?
Should we ask the audience, since the audience not here, but maybe the audience will listen during the
breaks or
the
whatever.
breaks and also our recording lah. But I think just to recap back lah, Zura, kan, I think kita always mention about dashboard kan. Yeah, we also guilty.
No, we're not.
In a sense, we also guilty. We talk about dashboards. So
Why?
at the
Why
early
guilty?
stage, we talk about dashboards. I think it's because
Okay.
Huh?
Yes, please.
No,
Yes,
I think
please.
it's because that we don't have the AI part.
At that point of time.
At that point of time, we just say as one descriptive part, the hello world part. That's where IoT comes in place.
That's where we're helping them. Starting
Point.
their
At
journey.
least you come and see and show how healthy you are.
Yes, at least.
What to do later is where this is where AI comes in.
Yes, they already are one step ahead already.
Yeah. So once we have that, the part of AI, this is where I think the era, the rise of the AI about this topic
Yes.
we are talking about.
Yes.
That we have not only at the edge AI at the cloud, but now it's more open to making decisions. The decisions and the clarity of the decisions is very important lah, kan? So I think I will add one more question.
To the listeners.
To the listeners. Okay, you guys, are you building technology? That's why a lot of people build products, build applications. But are you really solving the real problem? Yeah. Because technology that you have built is so much LoRa lah, apalah, NB-IoT lah, Wi-Fi lah, different kind of sensors. But if this technology without a purpose, we will always struggle.
Yalah, struggle to not make it more right, but then without a purpose, you don't know what problem are you solving pun tak.
Yeah, by the end of the day, the solutions becoming very expensive, and that's why a lot of IoT projects fail because we thought having all these sensors coming in, capturing that, then become like $50,000 infrastructure.
Very expensive.
Very expensive infrastructure. But by the end of the day, the decision making is very little. Wanting to know how much rain is today.
Oh my god. Okay. Is that all?
If that's all you want, then put a rain sensor.
Correct. This is simple.
Otherwise, you just, people just want another sensor called PM 2.5, PM 10, the environmental
quality of
air quality index. If that's important, just put the air quality index sensor.
Yep.
And that can be very cheap infrastructure that you can capture, and that's the one that can be published dekat mana tu, dekat bus stop.
Yes, that's where we have seen in Korea.
So when you're at the bus stop, one of the most, I think I need to know two things lah sudah.
Okay.
Kat the bus stop. Satu, I want to know whether that bus stop is polluted or not. So whether it's safe for me to stay there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Let's not wait for the bus already.
Polluted area kan. Or secondly, I want to know whether it's going to rain or not. Kan? So I need to be quick. Whether
you should find shelter nearby.
To find the next bus I want to take, rather than have to wait for the bus that goes straight to my home and so on and so forth. But it takes a longer time, so it will rain very heavy. So maybe I just have a rain sensor and plus the air quality index.
Yeah, a very simple one, but that is very impactful for the citizens.
And for example, if we have environmental sensors at construction site.
Yep.
So what sensors do you think that is more important, the intent and the context of construction?
Well, for me, if I were to to think about the barang-barang yang ada dekat the construction site kan, maybe it's expensive, I don't know. So they need to know whether rain again.
Also whether it's raining,
So that they can save their
the
expensive
cement,
stuff.
cement which is exposed. And sometimes when they are doing constructions, when they are climbing up,
the wind.
The wind.
Oh my god.
So the wind is
that's
an important thing for you to capture. Whether it's very too windy and too risky for the workers to climb up.
Correct. Yes.
So they should go down. So give them alert. So
maybe different timing. They should go up different timing.
Different timing. So you don't need to have many sensors. Only these two for different purpose. It's still environmental.
Yes.
So for example, you have another so-called smart pole that you want to reduce the people throwing rubbish. What kind of sensors that you want to put?
CCTV.
CCTV lah kan. It's only a camera.
Yes.
That can detect the behavior of the people, capture the events of people
throwing the rubbish.
Dump the rubbish, capture them. That's it. Should you put a rain sensor there? Air quality index, maybe lah you want to, but it's not a need, because the only thing that you require, the intent that you want to do in the context part, is actually capturing people who are violating the laws.
Yes. I mean sekarang punya CCTV can also measure whether riots are coming in. Riots are not our favourite tau, kita tak buat riot tapi but there is a CCTV that can actually predict whether is there going to be a riots or not in the area.
It can be in the,
why is it suddenly so many people coming at one time,
especially like Jalan Tuku Drama, Jalan apa tu,
that's all the famous places,
places where people gather around, hotspot area. So
we should actually put the CCTV.
So that's another behaviour monitoring kan.
All the abnormal behaviours they can actually pick up lah.
So sometimes I don't understand when we see a lot of requests for proposals who didn't tell us the intent. So they just want, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this.
AI lah. That's the best.
They want AI, but they want all the sensors. But where exactly they want to place, I don't know. So they might have all these sophisticated sensors, but only to detect one thing.
Correct. Yes. So, it's such a waste of money.
Such a waste of money. Rather than you have one pole that have captured everything, very expensive, but capture one thing, or you might have 3 or 5 poles which have different functions. So we had one function to capture people violating the rubbish. Second one is the behavior of the crowd. Thirdly is just to look at the quality index, air quality. Fourth is looking at the rain. But all of these are different poles, different infrastructure.
Right.
But how do you connect that, aggregate that kan?
Huh. Where? Where to go?
Where? How do you aggregate so many sensors?
Easy.
Easy?
Easy peasy. Get all those little data. Go send it to our favorite platform.
So favorite platform is the platform that can aggregate all this data lah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's but at the end of the day, that's the thing that we like to share also kan.
Yes, I mean that's the beauty of the platform.
So
You can get everything.
So it helps you to reduce all the silo of data.
Correct. Yeah.
Because you can make better decisions by aggregating that data. So
The correlation.
the correlation. So that correlation part is where the intelligence part that we have lah. So we also offer that kind of services.
Yep.
To the data that you have collected. So I think this part of AIoT, the rise of AIoT for year 2026 for the World IoT Day is the right day and the right year for us.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's going to be a very interesting year. In fact.
Yes.
All right. So, well, Doctor, since there's no questions, no comments from the audience, perhaps you can just wrap up. Okay, let me just ask you, any message for your IoT World Day, Doctor? Last message lah, last word lah.
World IoT Day.
World IoT Day, okay. Sorry.
Okay. The message. So IoT has always been there lah.
Okay.
Since the day that our company is born, that's where IoT has always been there.
Yeah.
In fact,
Breathe IoT.
In fact, I've been breathing IoT since year 2000 lah.
Oh my God, that's long.
That's a long time. So the baby now, our company is 2017, have now grown. So I think that's about 9 years. 9 years.
9 years, yeah.
9 years. But sometimes it also happen that it works quietly, very hard behind the scenes. So but today with AI, it has a new voice, new life in the sense, but I think a stronger role.
Yes.
A stronger role, a bigger responsibility. Macam cerita Spider-Man kan.
Okay. Spider-Man pula.
A bigger responsibility. I pun forgot the catchy part.
Okay.
But so this is not just about connecting devices anymore.
Yes.
So people say I want to connect device here and there. No, it's not about connecting devices. It's about connecting the decisions, the sources, the data that comes from various places. You can make better decisions. And if we do it right, we don't just build the systems.
Okay.
We just don't build the systems that you just for the sake of building.
Yep.
So we want also to build impact.
Yes. Impactful.
Impactful kan?
Yes.
Powerful.
Doctor. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. So, and remember this.
What is it?
Data is not the destination. So
Okay.
the decisions are.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome, Doctor.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
How about you, Dora?
No, I've already mentioned I'm very grateful for IoT. Thank you for being here. Okay. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in to our episode 44 of Favorite Sembang Santai. Do check out our recorded version of this Favorite Sembang Santai podcast at Spotify, Amazon, and also YouTube channels. Well, if today's episode made you think a little deeper about your IoT projects, then we have done our job. Okay. Happy World IoT Day once again to all of you, and as always, let's build the IoT world together. Well, that's it for today. See you in the next episode. Cheers!
Cheers, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.